welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm with Claus Scott, and today we are reviewing They Cloned Tyrone.
I didn't hear about this coming out. You told me about it.
I was seeing a lot of things on clips and promos on social media. And I was like, oh, this is very interesting. Because it was, described as sci-fi.
Mm.
It has John Boyega. I love John Boyega. I love Jamie Foxx. I love Tiana Paris, who's going to be she's already in Marvel. And so I was just curious to see how this was going to play out, because it's clear it's about cloning of some sort. And so it was didn't know, was like, oh, okay. I love sci-fi, interested in seeing what it's about.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was very fun. It was one of those where I turned it on initially and I had it on in the background, and then I stopped. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening with just hearing it. So I had to wait and give it time so that I could watch it, really pay attention and watch it. So it was, I'm glad I did. I thought the costumes were great. I thought
Yes.
the characters are great. I haven't seen. I know Jamie Foxx is in that movie about with the dogs.
Oh yeah, it's coming out soon.
I feel like I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
Yeah. He hasn't been well in terms of his health. So that was a whole I guess internet fodder for some time of is he sick, and him not being around or being, I guess, publicly available. But I believe that he is better now. And of course, no one could do promo for the film because of the writer's strike, but I thought it was great. So I love the costumes. I immediately love the cinematography. So the DP or whoever has done the photography of this film, the filters are so interesting. It gives such rich texture around the storytelling. And at first I was just like, okay, this is a very hazy movie, but it serves a purpose in terms of its shroud mystery around what's going on and why things are the way they are, and then getting to the bottom of the mystery of people are clones, and it is very stereotypical and people kind of play their part. I thought it was great. And yeah, I was like, well, I wouldn't say I was going to watch it with background. There was definitely times where I think somehow it's fixated on a particular thing, and I had to go back and rewind it to a place where I was just like, did that really happen? Or did I, interpret that well?
It did kind of remind me of Stranger Things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you cross Stranger Things with Jackie Brown, the underground lab, the secret laboratory.
Yes, Netflix and their laboratories.
Right, and the conspiracy part of it. I was like, you know what? I feel like someone from Stranger Things worked on this.
Yeah, maybe they use the algorithm for people who like Stranger Things will probably like this, and people who like ultra stylized mystery thrillers.
Yeah, let's go to the slide. We both gave this pretty high scores.
Yeah, I think this is the first time that I actually use a half points.
Because you were torn, right? It wasn't a 2, but it wasn't a 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was overall, it was good.
Do you think there's going to be a sequel?
Probably. I mean, I would hope so. I take that back. I say I hope so because Netflix has been notorious. With the television series, they'll go to second or third season sometimes. It's very rare that they will do a sequel of a film. So the ending, that would be great if they had a sequel, because then it would expose more and you figure out, much more behind who's, the secret organization, but yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I definitely think they set it up to do a sequel. Although it seems like it would be expensive to do
Yeah.
another one. Although this one didn't seem cheap. I guess I'm just surprised at how little promotion there was around it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they kind of promoted this concept, but then like the cast couldn't do interviews or anything like that. And then it was just out there and I just saw like people talk about it and say, just no spoilers, but like that they enjoyed it. And I was like, yeah, I should actually check it out.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about anything specifically in any of the categories?
So, actually, yes, I'm actually surprised that for me, I felt like there was nothing that stood out in terms of the soundtrack. Like, there weren't any songs that were like popular songs or anything that was written specifically for it. And maybe it was in the shroud of mystery because you also didn't know when this movie took place. There was a flip phone at some point, but then also like some things look very futuristic, but then the vehicles look very old. Like, so it was always a toggle between, is this actually happening in the now or is this in the future? Or could this just be on like another planet for all we know? Um, because there were so many like I was looking for details and it just reminded me of like It Follows, which is a horror film, but again, I couldn't place when this was happening, because there's little bits of new technology or old technology, and you're just like, okay, I give up. I don't know.
If I had to say where I felt like it was placed in time, I would say the 80s.
Mm,
Only because of the cars, because of the clothes, because of the flip phone. And I feel like clothing was around back then, wasn't it? Like they when did they clone Dolly? The sh
yeah, like yeah, Dolly was the late, I think late 80s, early 90s.
So I feel like, because it was in this isolated town where they were able to sort of experiment on the people who lived there without kind of it spreading out to other place, without fear of getting caught. I do feel like because like you have those small towns that are kind of set back a little bit in
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
it could have been like in the late 80s, but really everything looks like early 80s.
yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting. And that's part of why it seemed like an expensive movie to make because
Movie,
you
yeah.
have all these old cars, you had to get all that old stuff.
Yeah, you definitely had to source old stuff and, even like the old buildings. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So do you do you have anything to plug in this episode?
Well, I think excuse me, seeing that this is a Netflix film, I'm just really interested in seeing what else they have in terms of fostering new talent because I believe the director of this film who also wrote it, like this was his first major feature film. And
Mm,
knowing that we go to the theater, a lot of these indie films, things that like look very interesting don't get the screen time allotted, because we're in summer blockbuster mode,
mhm.
um, that come with celebrities, often IP, um, and material, that you know is an extension of franchises and stuff. So I'm really hoping that Netflix turns the ship around to be able to support um, emerging filmmakers so that they can reach the distribution for Netflix. So yeah. How about you?
I agree. There is a movie out that's I think it's out right now. It's very limited release in AMC. It's called Aporia. Have you seen the promo for that? It's Judy
Euphoria.
Greer, and I don't recognize anyone else in it. But it's about this family who loses the father of the in a drunk driving accident. Like he's hit by a drunk driver, and so he
Oh.
passes. And then someone they know, maybe his friend, invents this time machine. But you can't go back in time. But you can shoot a bullet back in time. So basically, the way they set it up is they could kill the drunk driver before he or she hits the father. And then
Oh my
how does that
goodness.
change time? So it looks really interesting. They're only showing it twice a day, and it's
Oh,
really inconvenient times. It's like 10 a.m. in the morning or like midnight or something ridiculous. So I'm hoping that I get to see that before it goes.
yeah.
Um, but that looks interesting. There's also one that looks interesting. It's about aliens taking over the world, but they don't have the concept of romantic love in their culture. So they want to watch relationships develop in and they pay for it like entertainment. They'll like
Yeah.
I guess pay in alien currency, which is the currency of the time.
I think I've heard of this. That was supposed to come out like months ago.
I think it's coming out next week.
Wow.
But again, like I haven't really heard anything about it. Like there's been no promotion for it. I just saw a blurb yesterday and I was like, that sounds interesting. I would watch that. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you.